Hi YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at the Spyderco Efficient. There you can see the model number right there and the name, and made in China. This is part of the Chinese line, kind of their second run of Chinese knives because the Tenacious family was the first run. And here it is. I recently posted my first impressions, and this is after having a little more time with the knife, getting some of the specs down and measurements and everything. So I guess I'll go over that first. Overall length is 7.04 inches. Blade length is 3 inches. Handle length is 4.04. Blade thickness is 0.12 inches, and the handle thickness is 0.46. It's a drop point blade with a plain edge and a full flat grind. 8CR 13 MOV blade steel with G10 handles or handle scales with a stainless steel liners and back spacer. It's got the Spidey hole opener like most Spyderco knives. Nice and easy to flick out. Total weight is 4.10 ounces. And the pocket clip is tip up, left or right hand carry. And there's a little lanyard hole you can see right there. Nice spot out of the way, not really taking up too much room out of the knife. There's also a bigger version and a smaller version, just like how the Tenacious has multiple sizes. This is kind of the middle ground, so you have a smaller one called the Insistent and a bigger one called the Emphasis. I have not handled those, or I don't think I haven't seen any of these yet, but they definitely look nice, and I'd like to get those in hand to compare them. And now I'm going to go on to the appearance, kind of their design language. Black coating, pretty much everywhere. Black coated blade, black coated pocket clip, hardware, liners, and back spacer. Usually I'm not a fan of coatings, especially on cheap knives, because kind of like how Kershaw usually coats a lot of their stainless steel frame locks with a black coating. It's just going to scratch off instantly, but 8CR 13 MOV blade, it'll definitely help in case it starts to rust, so not bad. Also kind of looks cool. Definitely like the look of it with the all black blade and hardware. Very ergonomic shape. These G10 scales are nice and rounded. Nice rounded curve all the way around, so it fits in your hand nicely. No sharp edges anywhere really. You can kind of feel the back sharp part of this liner lock. Other than that, you can't really feel the pocket clip or anything, not really in the way. Very nice big choil there. And some jimping to kind of grip your hand in. And like I said earlier, there's a lanyard hole right here in the back. And it didn't really push the pocket clip out of the way or move it to a weird spot like the Para 3. So definitely don't mind where it is. And it's pretty much just a nice, clean, simple, kind of minimalist design. Nothing special or crazy about it. It also comes in green and black G10 scales, black or plain blades with plain edge or partially serrated, kind of the Spidey edge I think they call it, or spider edge maybe. So lots of different options, pretty much get whatever you want. And I think they're all about the same price. This one was $47. Plain blade is about $43 to $44. Not sure if the colors or the Spidey edge make it cost more, but probably around the same price. Now we'll get into some of the good things about the knife. This lock bar access is really nice, just nice and easy. It's not flush on the show side, so you don't have to really get your finger down in there. You can just push it right in. Definitely easy access compared to a lot of other liners or liner lock knives. Very comfortable. Like I said earlier, everything rounded and nice, just a nice shape in general. Feels a lot better when you're holding it like this rather than back not on the choil. Kind of feels like you're too far away from the blade. You got probably about an inch there between your finger and the blade without using the choil. So more comfortable using the choil. Definitely feels like it fits in your hand like this best. And if you have big hands, you could probably only fit it by using the choil. So I can kind of get it. I don't have big hands, but I have wide hands, so I can kind of fit that way, but choil is more comfortable. And the clip, obviously good because it's the Spyderco clip. I mean, all their clips are nice. I think they invented the pocket clip, so they should be pretty good at making it. Also, this blade, like a lot of other Spydercos, full flat grind, nice and slicey. Should be good at slicing and some nice simple cutting tasks like that. Probably not the best for hammering into a tree or splitting wood, but definitely good for some slicing tasks. I think I said that a little too many times, but now onto my gripes. The choil, kind of how it ends right here at this protrusion, kind of annoying for flipping. So usually on a Spyderco knife, you can just take the Spidey hole and you just push up kind of at like an angle and it'll flip open. But if you do that on this one, the Spidey hole is kind of back a little bit, so you kind of got to push out. Makes it a little harder to flip. Doesn't flip as great, but you can kind of get it down. You just got to learn how to flip it. Also, if you look back here, probably about 20% of the hole is covered right there. So getting your fingernail or kind of just your middle finger down into it is a little harder. See if I can do it with my index finger. Not bad. So you can Spidey flick it. Just might be a little harder if your fingers are round or kind of bigger than mine. Also, another thing I don't really like too much is you can kind of see a little reflection, that little shiny line right there on the lock bar. Kind of sharp, not very comfortable. Feels like they could have knocked that down a little more, maybe put some jimping on it like the Tenacious and a lot of other of their liner locks. Would have definitely felt better, but I guess you probably get used to it. I think I usually end up using my thumb a little more, my thumbnail, just to avoid the pressing my finger into it as hard as I can. So cleaning that up would have been nice. Makes it feel a little more cheap. Kind of makes it feel like one of those MTech, like fake police, fake firefighter knives, but I guess for $47, it kind of seems, or makes a little more sense for Spyderco. And I'll do a little comparison between the Efficient and the Tenacious. So like I said earlier, the Tenacious is the other kind of base model from the other Chinese line. You have a couple smaller models, the Ambitious, I think the Persistent, and then the bigger one called the Resilience. So this is kind of the middle ground also. A couple little differences, obviously the shape because it's a different design, but the pocket clip, different type of pocket clip where it goes around the lanyard right there, and also it is tip up, tip down, left hand, right hand. So they probably removed that because a lot less people nowadays are carrying it tip down, because tip up is the way to go. And as you can see, a lot of jimping right there. Nice and easy to use. Less drastic of a cutout right there to reach the lock bar, but the jimping is nice. It's kind of rounded, so it's smoother. Feels a lot better to close, but in hand in general, definitely doesn't feel as good with this chamfered edge rather than the rounded edge. I definitely like the Efficient more. Same materials, G10, stainless steel, 8CR13 MOV. It says China real big on the blade, so you don't get it confused with any US knives. You know where it's made. And I just noticed stop pin right there in the back of the blade. There might be an internal stop pin on the Efficient. Kind of looks like it. I can't really tell for sure. Not that that really matters or anything. Also, I have a comparison for size reference to the Para 2. Everybody's felt the Para 2. You either own one or you've at least handled one, so there's your size comparison. A lot thinner blade, pretty close to the same thickness handle, but definitely a little smaller. And now on to kind of my final recommendations. So I like the knife. I think it's pretty nice. For $47, oh, that was another one of my gripes. $47 compared to a Civivi knife, kind of one of the lower end Wii knives. The Civivi knife would blow this out of the water. Just fit and finish, materials, everything about it is better on the Civivi, I believe. Flippers with bearings are way more fun. But if this is what you're looking for, then it's definitely not bad. If you're just looking for a nice, simple, non-flipper, non-bearing knife, maybe you're in a dusty environment, you kind of just need a hard user that a bearing knife would get destroyed in a dusty, sandy, just dirty environment. And this is a lot easier to get dirty and just blow out the washers with an air compressor or something, clean it up. Probably run a little longer than a bearing knife, so if that's what you're looking for, cheap beater. If you want a nice slicer, this is definitely a good option. If you're going to be using it a lot, I think it's a good option because of how ergonomic it is. It definitely feels good in the hand. You're not going to get any hot spots. You're not going to get tired of it. So, really cool knife. Really cool design. I like Spyderco doing a little more of the budget Chinese knives. I think they did a pretty good job on it. A couple of those little gripes that I would have changed, but other than that, I think that was it. I'll do another little, I already chopped up this paper a little earlier, but do a couple more slices with it. So, from the factory, comes sharp enough to slice paper, as it should, because it's a pocket knife, so they definitely should have it sharp enough to do that, but it wasn't perfect at it. I mean, I think the knife I'm carrying right now is probably sharper than that, so if you have the ability to sharpen it up, maybe give it a better, more fine edge, then probably a good idea to do that, because it might not come perfect out of box, but works good enough for me. That's pretty much all I got. Be sure to check out some of the other videos on my channel. I need to get my watch time hours up because for monetization, you kind of need that. So help me out. Check out some of the other videos, the Tenacious, the PM2. I have reviews of both of those. And that's pretty much all I got. Thanks for watching.